You are taking something?
Sleeping tablets. I got them from a doctor near the prison some months ago.
Why didn't you tell me?
Didn't think it was important. I mean, they were just sleeping tablets.
Well, until I see the prescription, I can't be sure. But I'd say we've found your problem, Meg.
It really is a pleasure having you with us, Dr. Edmonds, and if there's anything you need, just ask Mrs. Powell or myself.
Thank you very much, Governor. Mrs. Powell has already made me feel quite at home.
My pleasure. I'll get back to reception.
Thanks, Colleen.
Well, Anne, it's been a long time.
Yes, it must be nearly 20 years.
Closer to 25.
Oh, it's not very gallant of you to remind me.
You don't need gallantry. You're as lovely as ever.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
I didn't know it'd be you till this morning, but then the department's hardly noted for keeping us enlightened.
Well, they've been very kind to me. 100% support. I'm very grateful.
Well, they seem convinced you can help the women. I'm afraid I don't know very much about behaviour modification, except it works wonders with some children.
Ah, that's because kids are basically attention seekers. If a child knows he can get a certain reaction by a certain behaviour, he knows he can manipulate the parents. That's his reward.
So you ignore the behaviour, make the child take responsibility for it?
Something like that.
Well, can't see it working with our mob. We'd have total anarchy on our hands.
No, don't worry, Anne. I've got something quite different in mind for Wentworth.
Trade secret.
Not really. It's just that if I tell you how, you'll start looking for results. I'd much rather you assess the ends without my having to justify the means.
Fair enough. But I don't envy you going through all those files. How many women do you need?
I'd like to start with 2. See how we go before we add any more to the programme. Look, a few words from you would save me a lot of time with those files. Why don't you have dinner with me tonight?
Well, I do have a lot of paperwork.
You have to eat. And I need to make the right decisions if I'm going to get the best results.
You sound very confident.
I know I must seem like the most colossal egotist. But I promise you this. I always achieve my ends.
Bloody silly, they'll only stop our money.
Yeah, and you were saving up to buy an IQ. Look, if we're going to get anything, we've got to stick together, like Myra says.
Yeah, I don't mind too much. Hey, don't suppose anyone's got a pack of cards?
Pixie!
Hey, Pix.
Hello, honey. How you feeling?
I'm all right, I think.
Okay, what's going on, please?
Absolutely nothing, Mrs. Powell. We're not doing any outside work. We are on strike, remember?
The machines have been fixed. So now what's the excuse?
Got a few hours? Let's start with exploitation of labour, bad pay, bad conditions.
Yes, all right. You realise what you're doing is making it worse for yourselves?
Do you realise that all we're trying to do is get a fair go?
Like any other worker.
Yeah, we're a union now.
Oh, it's terrific. That's all we need. Suit yourselves.
Thanks. We will.
I don't understand. You're not striking because of me, are you?
Oh, honey, of course not. I mean, you may have started us
No,
off.
Pixie, we've got legitimate grievances now. Just took your accident to get us off our bums.
Oh, goodness.
I hope Mrs. Reynolds doesn't get into no strife because we're not working.
Well, who cares about a bit of strife?
I do. Renault can go fish, but I'm not landing in solitary just because Desmond fancies herself as Norm Gallagher in drag.
Listen, Keane. If you think you can run this laundry on your own, go ahead. Break the strike.
I wouldn't like your chances, but nobody likes scabs, especially when they're all over your face.
Oh, Jude, you have to help me. I have to tell Mrs. Reynolds I
Be
can't
quiet. We
keep it
won't talk about it here. There are too
any
many
longer.
people here I don't trust, Pixie.
I gather congratulations are in order.
Brought you back a souvenir from Sydney.
Thank you.
She hasn't said a word. I think she's pretty down.
Well, you would be, wouldn't you?
Well, Mitchell, home sweet home, eh?
Okay, Mitchell, you know the ropes on the white line.
2 escapes in 3 months. Some people are incorrigible, aren't they?
But I didn't
Come on,
escape.
you're just wasting time.
Fought like a little alley cat, she did. I really had my hands full.
You liar, you rotten liar!
That won't do you any good.
Just do as you're told, Mitchell.
You stinking
That's
ratbag
enough.
dyke!
But don't you see I did a terrible thing and I have to be punished for it? Well, it was different before when I didn't remember, but now
Hang on a minute, Pixie. Now, you say you killed him.
Yeah.
Well, when? Where's the body?
ease up,
Come
Myra.
on, Jude. I'm trying to get the facts straight. If we're going to help you, love, we've got to know everything.
Well, it was weeks ago. No, it was months ago now, just after we eloped. Oh, we were going to have such a beautiful wedding. I just left him there. I was so scared.
But, Pixie, love, why haven't we heard anything? Somebody must have found the body. Somebody must know who he is.
No, they wouldn't.
What is it, Pixie? Why wouldn't they?
Well, I had his wallet. You see, he gave it to me in the afternoon so that I could go shopping, and when I found it, I just threw it away in a rubbish bin.
God.
So he could be lying in a morgue somewhere labelled as John Doe.
What are we going to do?
Well, there's only one thing we can do. We have to tell the police.
No, Pixie. Now listen to me. That is not going to bring Ralph back. And if you go to the police, they'll just charge you with murder.
But I'll tell them it was self-defense. I was only defending myself, Myra, protecting my honor. They'll believe me.
Oh, will they, Pixie? Look at me. Did they believe me?
But it's the truth.
Honey, sometimes truth and justice aren't the same thing.
Oh, what a frown, Parker. I thought you'd be real pleased to see me, seeing I brought your little mate back.
Bobby?
That's right. She's in Gaffney's cell. You see, we like to keep the scum together.
G'day. How you going?
Okay, I guess.
Jeez, I'm glad to see ya.
Me too. Thought I'd seen the last of this place.
Yeah, well, at least you're alive. I tell you, me blood run cold when I heard about Sonia.
What do you mean? Did they get her?
Reckon someone did. Found her bag in a car, someone shot a hole in the windscreen.
Good. Double-crossing, cold-hearted bitch. Her and the freak are two of a kind. What about this Gaffney person? Is she going to give me any trouble?
Oh, well, she's rough as bags, but don't you worry. I'll keep an eye on you, that's what mates are for.
Still mates then?
Yeah, sure we are. Listen, Bobby, I sort of shot my mouth off a bit when you...
Oh, I reckon you had good cause.
Oh, geez, I've missed you, Bobby. Straight up, I have.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I've got a surprise for you, too. I kept your Walkman real safe.
You did?
Yep.
Oh, geez, Cass, you're a real good mate.
Well, I know you'll all cooperate and give Dr. Edmonds any help he needs.
Of course, Governor.
It's a pleasure meeting all of you, and I hope I have a chance to get to know you.
Well, I hate to rush off, but I've got dining room duty and...
No, please don't let me keep anyone from their work.
Well, if you'd like to share a sandwich, there's lunch in my office.
Thanks for the offer, but I've got a few calls to make.
Fine.
Well, he seemed like a pretty genuine sort of a bloke.
It takes more than good intentions to get through to this lot.
Oh, by the way, that was a very brave thing you did in Sydney with Mitchell and Stevens.
I was just doing my duty. But no thanks to you and your mate.
Don't follow you.
I'm talking about Mr. Eddie Lazarus Stevens, dead one minute and in Sydney the next, or didn't you know?
Yes, I know.
And you knew that he was probably looking for Mitchell and Stevens and knew just where to find them?
What difference does it make now?
I'll tell you what difference it makes. I only found them by chance. But you probably knew where they were all along. I think the police might find that very interesting, don't you?
Well, why don't you tell them? Inspector Maynard, Russell Street. But I'd check my facts if you don't want to look like a fool.
And apparently the effects are cumulative. The more you take, the worse the memory loss.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't anything more serious, Meg.
Oh, me too. Hate to think what might have happened.
But it didn't, so let's just forget about it.
I do think I owe the women an explanation. After all, I am responsible for this strike.
Oh, don't be a martyr, Meg. The women have lots of reasons for striking. You're way down on the list.
Oh, I do think it'd help if they understood why I slipped up. I'll be very careful about handling it.
All right. Can't see that it'll do any harm.
Pixie, you've got to eat something. You hardly touched your lunch.
Well, I just don't feel very hungry at the moment, Jude.
I know. We'll think of what's the best thing to do. Now, don't worry, huh?
Oh, Cat, Martha, don't tell me you didn't have it off with any spunks while you were away. I would have.
Maybe you're not as fussy as I am. I told you they were all creeps.
I bet they were.
Lay off, Phyllis.
And what are you, Parker? Her bodyguard.
Cass is me mate. I don't need a bodyguard.
It's just as well. There's only room for two of us in the cell.
Excuse me, ladies. Just want to have a word.